Mr. Comey, have you ever heard the expression, power doesn't change people, it just unmasks them?
No, I don't think so.
Whoa, did you guys catch that opening? Senator John Kennedy didn't even say hello before he dropped a philosophical anvil on James Comey's head. Power doesn't change people, it just unmasks them. I mean, talk about setting the tone. Honestly, that quote is the perfect summary for this entire hearing. We're watching a guy who spent years acting like he was the moral compass of the country finally get cornered by a senator who has zero time for the DC fluff. You can already see it in Comey's face. That smug, I'm better than you look he gives over Zoom. Kennedy is coming in hot with that down-home Louisiana logic. And you just know he's about to peel back the layers of this bureaucratic fairy tale. If you're tired of the deep state acting like they're untouchable, buckle up. This isn't just a hearing. It's a clinical evaluation of an ego. Let's watch the rest of this.
How's your book coming? How many copies have you sold?
I don't know, a lot. I have a new one coming out in January about the Justice Department. I hope that'll sell a lot too, but I don't know the numbers.
You enjoy attention, don't you, Mr. Comey?
I do not. I enjoy attention from my family. I do not enjoy being recognized in public and my B-list celebrity fame, which I hope will go away very soon.
Well, I'll give you this. You have been an equal opportunity egotist. You have tried to screw both Trump and Clinton. Let's talk about Clinton first. When you were head of the FBI, you investigated Secretary Clinton and her emails and her server, did you not?
The FBI team did while I was director, yes.
And you concluded that there were no criminal violations, did you not?
There were no violations that a reasonable prosecutor would pursue.
But you didn't just issue a statement. You called a press conference. And you commented on her behavior. You said she was extremely careless, but in your opinion, there was no criminal intent. What were you thinking of? I mean, this is the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Didn't you realize that could have an impact on the investigation?
The investigation was ending at that point when I issued the summary of what we had concluded.
Sorry, I misspoke. Didn't you realize that could have an impact on the election?
Oh, potentially, sure. And I was trying to offer...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was trying to offer transparency about the justification for ending an investigation of intense interest to the American people in July 5th of 2016.
Well, you gave us a full dose of transparency. 11 days before the election, you sent a letter to Congress saying, never mind what I said in my press conference, my unprecedented press conference, I'm going to reopen the investigation, didn't you?
Correct. I didn't say what you just said in the letter, but I told the chairs of the committees we were reopening the investigation to examine some additional material.
And then a few days later, right before the election, you said, never mind. She didn't do anything.
No, I said the examination was completed and it doesn't change our view.
And we're not talking about a parking ticket here. We're talking about the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, the most powerful person in the free world. And you didn't think that would have an impact on the election?
Oh, I knew it could potentially have an impact no matter what we did.
And you don't like attention?
Yes, both of those things are true at the same time. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions and you don't like attention.
Let's talk about Trump. You didn't really care about Dr. Page, did you? You wanted Trump, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
Yeah. When you went and got these warrants to investigate Dr. Page, that you don't remember much about. What did that allow you to do? Could you follow him around?
First, I didn't, Senator, go get any warrants. The investigative team and the lawyers from DOJ got
Right.
offers.
Right. Could you follow him around with the authority from FISA?
No, you didn't need authority from FISA to follow someone around. This was about electronic surveillance.
Oh, so you could wiretap him?
It allowed you to collect electronic communications that he was engaged in.
You can wiretap him?
Yeah, that's the old-fashioned term, but yes, it gave you authority to collect electronic communications. Almost no one uses.
Could you bug him?
I don't think there was authority in the FISA application for a remote listening device.
Could you open his mail?
I don't think that was included either.
But you don't remember?
I don't. It's easy to figure out, but I don't. Sitting here, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. And you're saying today that that if you knew now what you didn't know then, that you wouldn't have signed the application?
I would not have signed the narrow certification that the FBI director has to give, but more importantly, I'd want to know from the team, how are you thinking about this? Why are these things not being included?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, you're a smart guy. You're honors graduate, William and Mary, Chicago Law School. And you don't like attention. And I'm trying to understand that you're investigating the Republican nominee for President of the United States. Okay,
No.
You've already finished with the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, we
Now
were not
it's the Republican nominee, and you got a FISA warrant that was a lie, and you say, well, it wasn't. You're head of the FBI. Didn't you check? Didn't you go, hey guys, this is this is a nominee for President of the United States. Let's sit down and talk about what's your evidence. You never did that?
Senator, we were never investigating the candidate, the Republican candidate, Mr. Trump. This was about a surveillance warrant on someone who was no longer associated with the campaign.
Oh, you just got his name out of the white pages.
Whose name?
And then with General Flynn, you've wrapped up your investigation, but you decide to take one more shot. Sally Yates says you went rogue. Isn't that accurate?
It is not accurate.
Well, why would she say that? She sure didn't compliment you. I was sitting right here, bigger than Dallas. Listen to her. She said you went rogue.
Is he asking me what she meant by that?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
No, I think she was disappointed that I didn't coordinate the Flynn interview with her in advance, and I understood her concern about that. I think she understood my explanation afterwards as to why I used my authority, which I had, to do it without coordinating.
But you don't like attention.
I stand by my earlier answer. I love attention from my grandchildren and my children and my wife. The rest of it, I could let politicians have it.
Can we agree that the FBI is the premier law enforcement agency in all of human history?
I think so. At risk of offending DEA, I think so.
Mr. Comey, if you'd chosen a different career, say a driving instructor, and you'd never pursued a career at the FBI, don't you think the FBI would be better off?
Okay, can we just take a second to appreciate the driving instructor comment at the end? I am literally done. Senator Kennedy is the only person in Washington who can call you a failure and make it sound like a friendly suggestion over coffee. But seriously, let's talk about what we just saw. James Comey is the master of selective memory when it comes to his book sales or his B-list celebrity status, which he totally loves, by the way. No matter how much he fake humbles his way through it, he's all talk. But the second Kennedy starts asking about the FISA warrants, the misleading information that was fed to the court, and how he basically tried to play kingmaker in the 2016 election, suddenly he's just a guy who doesn't remember. The most powerful line in this whole video was Kennedy calling him an equal opportunity egotist. Think about how true that is. Comey didn't care about the rules. He cared about the Comey brand. He frustrated Clinton. He frustrated Trump. And he threw the FBI's reputation into a wood chipper just so he could be the hero of his own story. And did you see how Kennedy pinned him down on the Sally Yates rogue comment? Comey tries to act like he's this team player who just made hard decisions. But we all know the truth. He went around the DOJ. He went around the law. And he thought he was too smart to get caught. Kennedy asked him, "Don't you think the FBI would be better off if you had just been a driving instructor?" That hit hard because it's not just a joke. It's a reflection of how much damage this one man did to one of the premier law enforcement agencies in history. He turned the FBI into a political weapon, and now he's sitting there in his nice house acting like he's a victim of attention. Give me a break, Jim. We see right through the mask. Senator Kennedy is a national treasure for this. He didn't let him off the hook for a single second. He treated him exactly like what he is, a smart guy who used his intellect to serve his own ego instead of the American people. This is why we need more guys like Kennedy who aren't afraid to look these elites in the eye and tell them exactly how much they've messed up. What do you guys think? Is Kennedy's driving instructor line the best burn of 2020 or what? Drop a comment below. I want to hear if you're as fired up as I am.